I come from a very athletic family and I've always been interested in sports. And I've played soccer since I was in, I think, the 2nd grade. And I remember always watching my brother's IASAS when I was in elementary school. And I thought it was really cool that he got to travel and play with teams and do all that. And that's what I really wanted to do in high school as well.
I remember being in around 7th or 8th grade watching the rugby finals down on the lower field. And I remember it being a school day and classes didn't matter for that short period of time, 15, 20 minutes. Everyone was out on the field. And I remember, you know, just the sound of everything. But I think it's just because of the energy in the community that was around there. Definitely was one of those moments to remember.
Last year and this year, I got to have the whole experience, and I've been to 5 IASAS now. I liked going to a different school, meeting other people, all the other schools.
I think at the time when you're in that situation, all through your high school, IASAS seems like the world. It did to me.
So this jacket is actually my dad's varsity letterman jacket from before he graduated in 1992. And one thing about this jacket that I really like is that he has his IASAS patches on there.
I think soccer was my main sport. Of course, back then the school was the smallest school in the IASAS group, so they didn't have much choice. We finally did win boys soccer for the first time in 13 or 14 years, I believe it was, in Jakarta, my junior year. And that was amazing. That was, I mean, it was like we won the World Cup. So I've got medals and memories from IASAS soccer especially.
I guess something that I really enjoyed to keep in our family, because my dad went to IASAS, my brother went to IASAS, and then I also went to IASAS. And I think that shaped me as a person because I wanted to have the same experience that my dad did and that my brother did.
I've worked at the school since 1971. I was hired by Bob Goa. That's when the school was located downtown in an old place called an Istana, which was really an old house. And the teacher's faculty room was in the bathroom. And so you could go in the bathroom there, you could get your paper supplies because the bathtub was full of paper supplies, and sit down and have a cup of coffee or something with your friends. Oh, I have lots of friends. I'm just like the students. We make friends and originally a lot of them were from the United States, but then ISKL also started hiring teachers from other areas as well. They're from everywhere. And of course, for our children, our students, and my grandchildren and my sons, same thing.
Another thing I like about being a 3-generation legacy here at ISKL is that I always know people, whether it be teachers or students or just like my brother's friends. I just always know someone, and I think that that is going to be something that's tricky for me when I go to university, because I've literally always known someone at ISKL. I remember I would go into the next school year and I would ask my teacher how long they'd been teaching at ISKL, just to see if they either knew my grandma or my dad, or if they'd even taught my brother. And there was always someone that I knew my family.
I'd say one of my best experiences and memories in terms of the generation is with John Stupka. John Stupka was an art teacher, and he specified in architecture. And I remember both my dad and I took the same class, and it was a block of my day where I could do my work and talk to someone who was, someone older, someone wiser. It was a little different than talking to your friends. Good things, of course, but definitely, it's definitely been interesting. It's really made it feel like a community. Even though a lot of students don't have that same generational background, they still have the same sense of community. I mean, I remember kids coming in who I had never seen before in my life. That's how it works. And they'd be students from abroad, and their families would move to Malaysia, end up loving it, and stay permanently. And they're just as much a part of the community as I am.
Well, of course, all schools, nothing really stays the same. Some things are sort of the same, but you aren't a good school if you don't modify yourself when you need to. But I think the thing that has always stayed the same here is this feeling of home, feeling of community, a joy in spending time with each other and in making these friendships. I think that's always been ISKL. It feels like a home.
My grandma taught at the school. My dad graduated. I graduated. Now my sister's about to graduate.
I feel, very proud that both my kids, one graduated, the other one graduating, so that they got to experience what I experienced, or at least some of what I experienced at ISKL, and they both had fun.
I think one phrase that I learned from ISKL, one of the first things I learned actually was the Melawati way, which is take care of yourself, take care of others, and take care of this place. And at the time when I first learned it, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I got older and I was like, it's a little bit corny, it's a little cheesy, but I think that it's actually genuinely something that stays with you throughout your whole life, and you'll see it in any ISKL student. And I think that we're a really supportive community because we're tight-knit and we care about each other.